Okay, so you see these like super sleek smart glasses, right? And you just have to wonder, are they actually the future? Or are they just, a really cool, maybe really expensive fashion statement? That's exactly what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive on Meta's newest smart glasses, the ones they just launched with Oakley. We've got a pretty detailed review to work from, and our mission is, well, it's pretty clear. Are these glasses a real step forward for wearable tech or just a fancy accessory for a few people?
Yeah, and it's interesting because Meta isn't new to this game. They've had those Ray-Ban glasses out for a couple of years now, building that base. But this Oakley partnership, it really feels like it signals something more about their long-term plan for smart eyewear. It's actually the first time they've partnered with a brand that isn't Ray-Ban, which is notable because Oakley and Ray-Ban, they're owned by the same company, EssilorLuxottica. So this feels deliberate.
Okay, so let's start with the look, the design. That always seems key with Meta's approach. They definitely seem to have this formula, right? Blend a popular glasses style with like just enough tech so you maybe don't need your phone quite as much. For this first Oakley pair, they went with the HSTN frames, I think it's pronounced house done. And the first version, this limited edition one, has these really shiny gold lenses and frames that Meta calls warm gray, which sounds a bit odd. So, based on the review, how did this look actually land? Future or just fashion
Well, it's
one?
funny, the feedback was pretty consistent, even though style is so subjective. The reviewer called the design notably unsubtle.
Hmm.
Right? They even asked friends about them. A few were polite, apparently, but most people said things like too big, or they look weird, or just something looks off.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that specific color combo, the gold and gray, plus the sheer thickness of the frames, especially around the nose piece, which was described as awkwardly wide,
Right.
it all kind of contributed to that reaction.
Ah, awkwardly wide.
Yeah. So maybe this first version leans more towards a very specific, bold fashion choice. Not necessarily broad appeal, but, they did mention other colors are coming later in the summer, so maybe those will be a bit more
Uh-huh.
conventional. Okay, so the look might be divisive. Let's get into the hood then. The tech itself, like the Ray-Bans, these don't really look obviously techy, do they? But they work pretty much the same way. You've got the 12-megapixel camera, that POV1 point of view over the left eye captures what you see. And then there's the little light on the right that flashes when it's recording, plus the open-ear speakers in the arms. How did the reviewer find actually using that stuff day to day? Did it feel useful?
Yeah, the core functions seem pretty solid, much like the previous ones. Those open-ear speakers, for example, they're actually quite good at keeping sound contained if the volume's low. So people nearby probably won't hear your music or calls. But yeah, if you crank the volume way up, then it definitely becomes noticeable.
And that touchpad on the right arm for music control, volume, that seems to work just as easily as before. It's pretty intuitive. So yeah, for just like capturing quick moments or listening to audio, it does let you keep your phone away a bit more.
Okay, but Meta's calling these performance glasses. That sounds like more than just the basics. What are the actual performance boosts here? I gather it's mainly battery and camera. Are they really big upgrades?
They definitely push for performance, especially with the battery. The reviewer found the improvements pretty significant. They got over 5 hours of just straight music playback. That's about an hour more than the Ray-Ban ones.
An hour more. Okay.
And Meta's official claim is up to 8 hours with, quote, typical use, whatever that means exactly, and 19 hours standby. Plus, the charging case holds like 48 hours more charge. The reviewer actually said they didn't even need to plug the case in for over a week.
Wow. Okay, that is a big jump in battery life.
It is, but there's a catch. That charging case, it's quite a bit bigger and heavier than the Ray-Ban case. Like, too big for most pockets. It barely fit in a small bag, apparently. And another small thing, kind of annoying, is it doesn't show you a precise charge level, just a single LED light.
Right, just green, amber, red kind of thing.
Exactly. So better battery performance, yes, but maybe a step back on the portability of the charging solution.
Okay, so battery's up, portability's maybe down a bit. What about the other big upgrade, the camera? They went from 1080p video to 3K. That sounds impressive on paper. Who's that really for? Is it something you'd notice?
It seems like it's mostly aimed at content creators, people shooting POV video who really want that extra resolution for editing or higher quality output.
Makes sense.
It's not even the default setting, you have to choose it, but for the average person just snapping photos, maybe less crucial. Though the reviewer did run into some quirks with the camera.
Like what?
Well, photos sometimes looked overly saturated. Could have been the weather. They mentioned it was overcast, but still. And that super wide 100-degree field of view, it captures a lot, sure, but it apparently takes some getting used to frame shots properly.
Right, you might cut things off or get too much in.
Exactly. And it's really easy for like the brim of your hat or even just your hair to get in the way of the lens without you noticing.
Huh, yeah, I can see that happening.
But there's some good news there. Meta is working on a fix. They call it media quality check. So to warn you if a photo is blurry or if something like hair or your hat is blocking the view. It wasn't active during the review, but they confirmed it's coming in an update.
Okay, that's actually pretty smart. A practical fix.
Definitely. Addresses a real-world problem.
So beyond the hardware tweaks, there's this bigger shift, right? Meta isn't just saying smart glasses anymore. Now it's AI glasses. What does that actually mean in terms of new features? What's the AI part doing?
That's a really key point. It's definitely a strategic shift in branding and focus. They're clearly positioning these as like AI-first devices, maybe even a test bed for their wider AI goals. The app you use with them, Meta AI, used to be called MetaView. It now has some built-in AI tricks, things like Smart Crop. It tries to automatically straighten your photos if you took them with your head tilted.
So handy.
And it can restyle video clips right in the app. Kind of like applying filters, but maybe a bit smarter. Useful for quick social posts, though they do say the video restyling is free for a limited time, which is interesting. Maybe a future subscription thing.
Maybe. Okay, but what about the really futuristic AI stuff? I heard about live translation. That sounds potentially huge. The glasses translating languages in real time. Spanish, French, Italian, English. How did that actually work out in practice? Was it smooth?
Yeah, the reviewer tested this pretty thoroughly with her husband, who's a native Spanish speaker. They both wore a pair. And the verdict was mostly effective, which sounds promising, but also hints at limitations.
Right.
The way it works is one person talks, then pauses. The Meta AI assistant translates it into the other person's ear. Then they reply, pause, and it translates back.
Okay, so there's a definite pause involved, not quite a natural flow.
Exactly. That was the main drawback mentioned. It makes the conversation feel a bit stop-start, less natural. And they found some weird bugs, too. Sometimes the AI would apparently hear the translated audio coming from the other person's glasses.
Oh, no.
And then translate that back again, creating this weird loop like a game of telephone.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it missed words or started translating mid-sentence. And predictably, it struggled a bit with slang or very regional ways of speaking.
Okay, so definitely not perfect yet.
Not perfect, no.
Yeah.
But despite all that, the reviewer still thought it had real potential, especially for travel scenarios, like ordering food or asking basic directions. Oh, and apparently you can have the translation delivered by celebrity AI voices. Judi Dench was mentioned, which is amusing.
Judi Dench, translating Spanish for me. Okay, that's kind of funny. So translation, useful, but needs work. What about live AI? That sounds even more ambitious. The AI assistant seeing what you see in real time and answering questions about it, like identifying stuff.
Yeah, live AI. It uses what they call multimodal powers.
Yeah.
Fancy term. Basically means the AI uses both the camera, vision, and the microphone hearing to understand your context.
Okay, so it sees and hears.
Right. So you can ask it things about what you're looking at without having to describe it or keep saying, hey, Meta, like what kind of plant is this or what's that building over there?
And how well did that work? The review called it gimmicky sometimes.
Yeah, gimmicky seems fair for its current state. It could do some things like identify landmarks sometimes.
Yeah.
But then it fell short in other ways. It couldn't help with navigation, like finding a place based on cross streets. It just refused.
Huh.
And it apparently misidentified some plants in a botanical garden, though the reviewer admitted they were admittedly exotic. But on the plus side, it did apparently warn the reviewer about some nearby geese, telling them to keep their distance. So maybe useful for avoiding angry birds.
Oh. Okay, so maybe not super reliable yet, but you can see the potential there.
Exactly. It feels less about solving immediate problems right now and more about Meta showing where they want to go.
It's a glimpse into how they see AI integrating with wearables. It really lays the groundwork for future versions that might actually have, displays built in. True AR.
Which brings us inevitably to the price tag. Because all this tech, especially the Oakley branded version, it's not cheap. What are we talking?
Nearly $400 to start for the Oakleys, right? And the specific ones tested were $499.
That's right. Compared to the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which start around $299.
So $100, even $200 more. Is it worth it? Do those battery and camera upgrades plus the early AI stuff justify that premium for most people?
The reviewer's take was pretty clear on this. Probably not for most people. While the upgrades especially the battery, are solid. They felt it didn't quite justify that significant price jump compared to the Ray-Bans.
Okay.
Seems Meta knows this. They're explicitly calling it a performance model, suggesting it's aimed more at like serious athletes or maybe power users who really value that extra battery or slightly better video, or just people who are already loyal to the Oakley brand.
So less of a mass market play, more of a niche product for now.
Exactly. It feels like they're establishing a higher tier,
Yep.
testing these features, maybe gathering data from a specific user group, rather than expecting everyone to rush out and buy this particular pair.
Okay, so pulling it all together then, if this Oakley version is more niche, what does it tell us about Meta's bigger picture, their long-term strategy for glasses?
I think it gives us a much clearer idea of their direction, actually, even if this specific model isn't for everyone. We know Meta is working towards glasses with actual displays, leading to full augmented reality. That's the end goal. And achieving that requires solving fundamental challenges like battery life, processing power, camera tech, and importantly, the AI interface. So these Oakley glasses, with their improved battery, better camera, and especially the AI features like live translation and live AI, however imperfect they are now, they represent crucial steps, foundational improvements.
Building blocks for the future.
Exactly. They're iterating in public, refining the tech that will be essential for those future AR glasses, which, let's be honest, are almost certainly going to cost a whole lot more when they finally arrive.
Right. So while these Oakley Metas give us this really interesting peek at an AI-driven wearable future, it does leave you thinking, what problems are these features really solving for you right now today? And thinking ahead, how might they become truly essential once that full AR experience is here? What would you want your glasses to see, understand, and tell you about your world every day? Something to mull over.